This week in Jamaica Now, what the new US-Cuban policy means for Castro's country. Youth Minister Lisa Hanna dominates social media all week after posting a photograph of herself in swimwear. Anglican priest faces the media after a firestorm over the washing of the feet of two lesbians at church, and he says he would do it again.
People are comfortable with liars and murders in Jamaica. What people are not comfortable with is somebody being honest enough to say they are lesbian or gay.
And thieves break into Parliament, then hours later, a fire scare. The details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
On behalf of the Gleaner family, Team Blue, we would like to wish you and yours a happy holiday. Thank you for your support of the Gleaner for over 180 years.
I'm Caroline Brown, and this is Jamaica Now. United States President Barack Obama is being hailed for his decision to normalize diplomatic and economic relations with Cuba after more than 50 years. Obama last week announced plans to make the changes, saying the current approach was outdated. Meanwhile, the Cuban president, Raul Castro, says Obama deserves respect and recognition for his decision. Now, under the new policy, the long-standing trade embargo between Cuba and America cannot be lifted because that requires the approval of Congress. But here's why the new policy is significant. The U.S. will soon reopen an embassy in Havana and carry out high-level exchanges and visits between the governments. The U.S. is also easing travel bans to Cuba, including for family visits, official U.S. government business, and educational activities. However, tourist travel remains banned. Licensed American travelers to Cuba will now be able to return to the U.S. with $400 in Cuban goods. These goods include tobacco and alcohol products worth less than $100, and the U.S. will increase the amount of money Americans can send to Cubans from $500 to $2,000 every 3 months. Youth and Culture Minister Lisa Hanna last week dominated social media after posting a photograph of herself in a bikini. The image, which shows Hanna at the beach in a bikini and t-shirt, was taken by her son Alexander Panton after the recent reggae marathon in Westmoreland. It has reached more than 700,000 people through the Gleaner's Facebook page. The minister was both criticized and commended for the post, which has been widely shared and reported on in the media. And here were some of the comments on social media. On Facebook, Andrea Barrett wanted to know, what's wrong with it? Is she wearing a swimsuit to Parliament? Isn't the attire appropriate for the place she's at? Edwin Walton said, a little too revealing for a lady in her position. Extremely beautiful, no doubt, but remember, she is the minister and should be setting an example for young ladies. On Twitter, journalist Dion Jackson Miller said it would be nice if people paid as much attention to Hannah's policies and plans in her ministry. And on Instagram, Ramona Samuel said the matter was not much of a controversy at all, just straight up beauty from head to toe. The Jamaican Parliament was the subject of much attention on Thursday, following an early morning break-in and a mid-afternoon evacuation after smoke was detected inside. The incidents were not related. It's reported that thieves made off with computers and a flat-screen TV after gaining access to the office of the House Speaker and that of the Senate President. Several months ago, thieves attempted to break into the canteen at Gordon House but were not successful. And by mid-afternoon on Thursday, firefighters were called to Gordon House after smoke was detected in the building. The staff was evacuated for almost 30 minutes as fire officials checked for the source of the smoke.
Based on our observation, there was a power cut in the area, and as soon as the power cut, the power returns. There's a malfunction with the AC unit, and nothing much to speak about. It was just overheating on the AC belt that caused the smoke.
Anglican priest Father Sean Major Campbell faced the media last week following his controversial decision to wash the feet of two lesbians during a service aimed at highlighting human rights. The priest said he understands the reasoning behind the condemnation from church members as well as other members of the society, but he says he would do it again.
Would you wash some of those gays' feet again? If it comes to
Not in the Advent service. If it were a Holy Thursday night, by all means.
According to the priest, Jamaicans are less interested in other pressing matters affecting the lives of their brothers and sisters.
People are comfortable with liars and murders in Jamaica. What people are not comfortable with is somebody being honest enough to say they are lesbian or gay. That's what people are comfortable with. So the idea was to focus on a marginalized group, focus on a topical issue. And there is no doubt that it was topical from the kind of response you see.
A leading proponent of drug policy reform says Jamaica could pay a heavy price for its years of adherence to demands from the United States if it fails to exercise greater urgency in local ganja reform policies. Executive Director of the Drug Policy Alliance, Dr. Ethan Needleman, says the country is far behind on medical research on ganja. And he says if something isn't done soon, Jamaica could find itself importing ganja from the United States in the next 10 years. According to the outspoken professor, half of the U.S. has now made marijuana legal for medicinal purposes, with millions of Americans now receiving the drug through recommendations from medical doctors. Needleman is urging local policymakers to act quickly to decriminalize weed, as Jamaica could be the pioneer for drug reform in the region. Some petrol marketing companies have admitted that they have not been passing on the full reduction in gas prices to consumers. They have explained that they were trying to recover past losses. The entities made the admission during an emergency meeting called on Thursday by Energy Minister Philip Paulwell. Mr. Paulwell called the meeting following concerns that local gas prices were not reflecting the massive fall in world prices. During the meeting, the Energy Ministry said the companies committed to passing on the full reduction of the weekly refinery billing prices to their retailers as of Friday. This should allow for customers to get a further break in the price of fuel. Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams has ordered the closure of all administrative offices so that more cops may be deployed on the streets as part of a strategy to keep the murder rate below 1,000 this year. Dr. Williams says the deployment will run until December 31. The reduction in police administrative work coincides with the usual increase in road operations by the police during the Christmas holiday period. According to Dr. Williams, while road activities will be taking place, the management of crime hotspots will continue, and where necessary, high-level operations such as cordons and searches will be implemented. The Jamaica Defense Force is expected to support the work of the police. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Caroline Brown, and as we go for the final time in 2014, a special thanks to you from the team behind Jamaica Now.
It's been a great 2014. We want to thank you for your support and promise even better for 2015.
It was our pleasure bringing you the top stories that made it in the Gleaner in 2014. We value your support. See you in 2015.
Thanks for keeping it jiggy with Team Blue.
Thank you for watching Jamaica Now. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned in 2015.
From the entire Jamaica Now team, season's greetings.